ring is from?
Okay, we're live.
All right, well there we go.
Okay, all
How'd you
right.
do it?
I just had to keep playing with it. We were having some
That's what happens, I guess.
yeah, we were having some
Sweet.
technical issues, guys.
Oh,
So we are late
hello.
tonight. Um, we are running later than we're comfortable with, so most of you will probably see this on playback. I hope you
Yes,
guys will. We'll share this out to you guys, and hopefully
but
you
here
get to
we
see it.
are.
Yep. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Like, comment. Let's have a little fun with it. We're here to discuss the game
Sure.
yesterday, the big game, the big upset. I don't. I'm going to be honest, Molly. I don't know what you're thinking, but I didn't think this that we could beat this team.
No, at all, and it's insane. Like I told you, it was either going to be close or a blowout. And I think that the Iowa Hawkeye fans really came through for us,
They did.
because
They did.
that is a difficult thing to play in front of. And you said something about the Caitlin Clark effect, but I'm telling you, those girls stepped up and they handled that because they've handled it. And I think that might be it. Is they handled that with what they were used to doing before when Caitlin was there.
Hmm.
So they've had those crowds, they've had that up, they've had that adrenaline, they've had that rush, and they came through. So
Okay.
exciting.
All right.
So
Now,
exciting.
where was the crowd in all those other games that we lost at home? Nebraska at home.
Right?
That's a game we should have never lost. Where was the
Right.
crowd picking us up then? Sitting on their
Well,
hands. I know. I'm sorry. The crowd was a factor yesterday. There is no doubt in my mind.
I agree.
Um, in Juju got her points though.
She
Um,
did. I mean, it's just like, remember, it was just like Caitlin. Caitlin got her points too.
yep.
Even when we lost, she would still get her points. But if
Hmm.
you kept Caitlin at 22 or 20, whatever, right? We weren't
Hmm.
winning. Like we were
Right.
not winning the game. So it was the same thing. And it was funny because I told you, I said I think maybe they're either listening to us or we've
Hmm.
been coached by the same people.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, what do you think of? In all honesty, you said you didn't see the start of the game. So did you see any of the first quarter
I
where
did.
we
I
were
went
just
back. I went back and I of course
watched?
I
Okay.
watched it
Mhm.
again.
Yeah. Well, I was
Yeah.
sitting in the church parking lot watching it on my phone. Because by the time the game started, the sermon was pretty much over, so they were doing other stuff, so I didn't have to feel bad. So I just went out to my car and waited for my wife to get out of Sunday
Yeah.
school because she was
Yeah.
teaching it. And so,
Yeah.
anyhow, but yeah, I was watching, and I just so impressed with the crowd, and I just kept thinking, well, sooner or later, USC is going to start coming back. They're going to start a comeback. Okay,
Mm-mm.
not it's not now. It's not now. It's not now. We get
Yep.
what, a 19-point lead in the first quarter, and I
Yeah.
think we ended up a 14 or 15-point
Yeah.
first quarter lead that they have.
Yeah.
So wow, what an amazing first quarter! I think
It
that
was
set the tone.
well, it was amazing, and it was the fact that I really think that she started coaching. Like she was coaching the team.
Hmm.
She was on it, and she knew she had to be on it. You heard it when they would go off and had her mic'd, and you heard what she was saying in the
Hmm.
huddle.
Hmm.
It was and she did exactly. I mean, I literally have it on box and one zone defense, throw a switching zone defense on them, maybe a 1-3-1, do a 3-2 matchup zone. So the matchup is where you go
Hmm.
matchup zone and then you turn it into a man after two or three passes. And you heard her say that in the huddle, even in the fourth quarter. I think she said go 11. You need to go 11 for a certain amount of time, go strong. They're already ready to play the zone offense.
Hmm.
Go 11, and then we turn into da da da, da, and they cut her off. But what she was saying was,
Hmm.
we're going this defense because she knew that they were setting up for that
Hmm.
offensively, and then she would switch the defense on them while they were in their play. So they went and ran a zone offensive play, and in the maybe two or three passes, we used to do it. We used to count in our heads:
Hmm.
1, 2, 3, go man, and we
Hmm.
pick up. So they're running a zone offense, right? And
Hmm.
then we're switching man, and they're like, "Wait a minute, what's going on?" And you would watch Juju or the other like 3, 4 player, they were like, "Oh, I'm going to the basket," and they would jack up a shot, and we're getting the rebound. That was the other thing, block out. She even
Hmm.
said that. She's like, "You got to block out. You got to get the rebound. It's one shot and done." And they just did it. They stuck to it and they did it.
Yeah.
And the
No,
freshmen, dang, I loved Guyton picking up like that.
Guyton did well.
I
I know that
love it.
Strimlow and
I love
um,
it.
Mulaney both played, but they didn't contribute a lot yesterday.
But they
Um,
stepped in and did what they needed to do for those small amount of time in order to give somebody a break. It was a great team effort.
yeah, it was. It was. It was. And for the second consecutive game, Ava didn't get any playing time, but people were
No. Is
well,
she hurt?
and this is what I figured out. And people were on the Corey show. I was going to send it to you,
Yeah.
getting angry that Ava wasn't getting any playing time. And this is what I typed out on there. I says, when they decided to move Hannah back to the 5 and Sydney over to the 4, that basically took minutes away from Ava, whatever minutes she was contributing, because um, Hannah
It did.
and O'Grady were sharing that 5 spot.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
You
I
know,
mean,
and
and then that's the choice that they make for the time, but that doesn't mean that it's always going to be like that
no. There's certain
at all.
situations we need O'Grady. O'Grady to me is the most improved player from last season,
And
hands
she
down.
did insane last night.
Yeah,
She came through in the clutch.
yeah. I mean, she missed that one little jumper, and I thought, oh man, that could cost us. And what do you know? She didn't miss another jumper after that.
No, no. And then, oh my gosh, I mean, talk about Lucy. Lucy just lighting it up. I mean, finally, about time.
Yeah.
Took her a minute. I
Hmm.
didn't see her as smiley and teethy smiley as she was
She
in the
seemed like more
lessons.
focused on the game than usual.
Yeah, this was like I'm out to get it. I'm out to do what I need to do, and
Mhm.
I'm out for business. And it was just
Yeah.
a different Lucy on the floor.
Yeah.
Um,
28 points, 8 of 9 at the
yeah,
free throw line. When she
yeah,
said she promised that she would never do that again, because we lost a couple games with the bad free throw shooting. Remember,
yeah,
we said we just hit half those free throws, we win the game. I think one
yeah,
game we just need to hit one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And she
you
had
know.
some clutch plays in the end that
Oh, she did. She did.
it just ended it. It was over. Like
Yeah.
she had clutch plays and did what she was supposed to do.
Yeah.
She did it in a different way. She didn't do it in a Caitlin Clark way,
No.
right? But she
No.
did it in a Lucy way. She did it in the new Iowa way, and the fun part for me was watching back and watching how each player that used to play for Iowa and
Hmm.
Bluter
Hmm.
were coaching through the whole entire thing.
Okay, I
And
didn't
that's how
realize
I
that.
feel when I'm in the
I didn't catch that.
oh my god, you have to see it. Like it's the best ever.
I'll
They're
have to go
all
back
just
and
like,
watch
oh, and they're like,
this.
oh, and they're like pointing and they're like, no. And they just if you see
Yeah.
like all the different like I guess it's on TikTok and
Hmm.
Facebook and the Iowa
Piecing it
pages
all together, yeah.
they have been doing it as well.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
So
if
I
you
would have loved to been in the locker room. I understand that Caitlin gave him a speech the night before after practice or something. And
yeah,
it sounds like she went in there and Caitlin, she probably was all emotional and rah
oh
rah
yeah,
yelling them. And that's why I
yeah.
said you think the Caitlin effect had anything to do with that, because
Well,
these girls stepped it up a notch. This is not
well,
a level they
yes,
played all season. They
yeah,
played
and
at a level
yeah,
unlike they have all season.
right, and I can tell you that it's not even just that it's a Caitlin Clark thing, but it's that
Hmm.
it's an alumni thing. It's
Hmm.
somebody that comes back that has been there, done that, and they are there, and you've looked up to this person, and they come back
Hmm.
into the locker room and they tell you, guys, you got to do this. Like we need
Hmm.
this. Us Iowa Hawkeyes, we need this.
Yeah,
Like do
and
this
Kate
for
Martin was
Iowa.
there. Yeah, Kate
And
Martin
I
was
love
there.
it. Yeah, they were all
Gabby was
there.
there. Here's the funny thing about, and also so were Monica Sonano was there, and I
Yeah,
believe
yeah.
Mackenzie Warnock were there.
Hmm.
I couldn't tell if Gustafson came back or not. I couldn't tell, but I'm pretty sure the girls were all sitting together that she
Yeah.
actually played with, because she didn't play with Gustafson.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and just to have those guys back and the support,
Hmm.
it just means something. I mean, we had
Hmm.
alumni that would come back and they would tell us like, you guys need to do this for us, like that
Hmm.
that got us, through to the final four because you just look up to those people. You
Yeah.
just do. You just know, like, look, everybody's here in the building, and this is why we're here. We're here because they laid the groundwork. Now it's our turn, you know? So I know what that feels like. It's the most amazing thing, that it's priceless to be able to have that. And then it's Caitlin Clark. I mean, hello. It's like Michael
Yeah.
Jordan coming in and giving you a
Yeah.
pregame. Come on.
Yeah.
I
Well, I think
mean,
what is amazing is that to see Kate at the game yesterday when she just played a game on Saturday of her own, and
yeah,
she has to turn around and fly right back to Florida because I believe she's playing a game
yeah.
tonight.
But that's what you do. You
You
just
know.
do that. You do that, and that they're family. That's what
Hmm.
family does. Like family does
Hmm.
that for family. Like you get
Yeah.
it. Like, and when we say like we are sisters, like we're
Hmm.
Iowa sisters, we are. Like if we need to step up for each other, we'll do it. If we need to be there for someone, we'll do it. It just will happen. If we can make it happen, we're gonna do it for each other.
Did
And
you guys have the kind of bond
yeah,
and culture type that they currently have on the team?
yeah, we did. I mean, it's
Vivian
just
and
yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
and we'd kill each other on the court like on a daily because you have to. Um,
Hmm.
but we were out, we'd go home and eat together. We had our difference of like, maybe a couple would want to go here or go there, but if it came down to it and being on the court and someone was trying to mess with us, you don't mess, nah. I can mess with you in practice and do whatever I want, but if somebody else tries to do something, I got your back.
Yeah.
Like, and I still got their back. I mean, we're still there for each other. Every one of us, we send each other messages. We Facebook message. We share stories. We share the fact that we're coaching still, or that
Hmm.
we have kids, or we have grandkids, which is insane, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and just to have everybody back together is just something that's amazing. Even my Bruin teammates still look at me as a Bruin. They do. Like they're just like tied
You're
back.
only there half a year. You're only
Yeah,
there
but
half
they're
a
like,
year.
you're still a Bruin. Like when you coming back, you got to come back to that Iowa game. Like they're like, let's make it happen. They're like, come
Well, you
on.
got to do that. You got to do that. If
I
you're not there,
do
that's going to be
because
disappointment.
it's just something special. It really is. I'm really
Um,
thinking about doing the February 23rd game in Iowa City, but I don't know.
Washington. No, wait a minute.
No, it's UCLA. I think
That's the
February
UCLA
23rd.
game. That's Sunday. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Hawkeye 2017 must not have seen our original show where we talked about this. Do you want to answer his question? What made you switch to Iowa and leave UCLA? I
Oh,
know
yeah.
we went over this before, but he
Yeah.
hasn't heard it, so let's tell it for him.
Yeah, I went to UCLA and it just wasn't it just wasn't what I thought it was. I mean, I was Pac-10 freshman of the year. Everything was going well there. It just wasn't when I was recruited, it was a difficult time. It was a difficult time for me being away from Iowa. I went out there, I was very naive. I didn't understand the difference, because we're Iowa nice. And it's not that any of my teammates or anything were like that. It was just the way it was. Like I really felt like everything was closing in on me. I didn't have room to even like walk or, just there's just so many people. It's just so different compared to what we're used to in Iowa.
Yeah.
And I was injured and it just turned out to be something that I didn't think that it was. And I knew that I had an opportunity to head back to Iowa and I took it.
Mhm.
And it's funny because the first semester that I went back to Iowa, I literally had to pay for my first semester because Coach Stringer did not have a scholarship to offer me.
Mhm.
Um, and it was funny because I was sitting at Iowa, different time now, right? But I'm sitting in
Mhm.
Iowa and we would be playing Ohio State and Nancy Darsh would come in and be like, "Hey, Tide back, I got a scholarship for you." You'd have Pat Summit come in, "Hey, Tide back, I got a scholarship for you," and I'm like, "No, no, no, I want to be here. I want to be right where I'm at. I'm waiting. Give me a semester." They got me after a semester, so I think I
Mhm.
had to pay like $3,200 for a semester. Isn't that nuts?
Actually, that's probably cheap now.
I know, but isn't that crazy that like,
Yeah.
now you're looking at these guys are shooting free throws making $3 million and I was having to pay for a semester to
Yeah.
play at Iowa.
My
Nuts.
wife and I got married while she was still a student at UNI, and I picked up the cost of her tuition at UNI, and it was only like $600 a semester.
I know, it's crazy.
That
It's
was up
crazy.
to I think she graduated in I think it was December '81 because
No,
our twins were born and they were still newborns, and in order to watch
it's
her graduation, I had to have help from her family to watch the twins.
oh my gosh, it's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, it was just I my life is completely different now because I made the move. But I would do it again. I don't regret it at all.
Well, there you go.
Especially being able to play under Coach Stringer.
Yeah,
Um,
you were still. Did you see that article I sent you today about when
yeah,
under Stringer they
yeah,
set the record of 22,000,
yeah.
which is now broken, but
Yeah, she
uh,
talked about that, but that was 22,000 in Carver Hawkeye Arena, and it was standing room only. And the fire
hmm
department came in, and they were so angry that these
hmm
people were standing in the aisles.
yeah, but didn't they just open up the doors and let anybody in? They didn't charge anybody or anything, and so
I
people were
have no
saying that's not a
idea.
real record.
I have
Yeah.
no idea, but are
You were
you
gone
kidding
by
me?
then, right? Or was that before you? That was
No, no, that
before
was
you.
before I was there. So that was the Ohio
Mhm.
State game, I think.
Yeah, you were still in
Um,
high school.
yep, yep, I was. That was oh my gosh, I think Shanda Berry might have been part of that, who we had
Mhm.
on the podcast before.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
think she was part of that, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay. So let's get back to our game. Our wonderful game. Okay, so our girls, they do their famous second quarter, go to sleep, forget that the
Yeah,
game is still going.
yeah, I know. I was like,
I don't want to
oh,
be I'm not going to be critical, but and then they end up going into half trailing, and I honestly thought I was
uh-oh.
driving home from church at that time, and I honestly thought, yeah, it was just I said to my wife, it's just a matter of time. It was a matter of time.
Yeah,
I said I didn't think they'd come back that fast, but I thought eventually they'd get the lead back.
it scared me when they started doing the pressure and we couldn't handle it.
hmm
Yeah, that scared me a little bit, but I think that we got them into foul trouble, so they weren't able to be as aggressive as they wanted to be.
hmm
And then their bench isn't as deep as ours is. It just
hmm
isn't.
hmm
USC's is not as deep as ours is,
hmm
which is it's crazy to me, right?
Yeah.
Like, how is Iowa's bench deeper than USC's
Uh,
bench?
well, the one thing I
Um,
will say is we seemed to either they weren't pressing as hard in the second half, or we handled it a lot better. Lucy was definitely they had Lucy set up a little bit, and there was an explanation of it, but I didn't quite understand it. Something about that they were setting up too deep on their press,
they were
and so that
they were
helped.
setting up like a 3/4 instead of a full court.
hmm
And which I don't understand why they did that, but it
hmm
might have been the crowd and the inability of the coach to get the information to the players as
hmm
she needed. I mean, she had to
hmm
call a timeout at one point in time in order to tell the players what to do because she couldn't communicate
Yeah.
what she needed. And being an Iowa Hawkeye, we were used to that. Like Coach Stringer had
hmm
us to the point where we knew plays and what situations like the back of our hand. Makes me a better coach now.
hmm
But as a player, or she was holding up signs. So we knew immediately what we were doing because we were used to crowds like that.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah. Ben Clark says a
mhm,
lot of good recruits at the game. Wants to
yeah,
talk about that.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
for sure.
let's talk about them a little bit. I had not heard. I'm going to be honest. I had not heard anything. Usually, the media guys go after everybody and
Yeah, I
ask,
didn't hear
"How was
anything
your
either.
visit? What are you thinking?"
Right,
But I
right.
have not heard. I've not read or heard anything, any video or anything.
Right, I think it's because the jersey, retiring the jersey probably overshadowed all of that, but it
hmm
didn't overshadow it for them as a recruit.
No,
So
one of
recruiting those
them.
girls and
Yeah,
having an in-house for that, come on. You
yeah.
can't beat that. I'm
No,
going
no,
to
no, no,
Iowa.
no.
I'm going to
Yeah,
Iowa after that.
yeah. One of the girls texted her friend,
Mhm.
said that the game and the crowd was really having an effect on them. And so, would it be amazing if we got all those girls to come? I mean, we've already got 2 of them signed, sealed, and
I don't
delivered.
even know. Do we have that many scholarships to
That's
offer?
true. I know it. I think at the beginning of the show, before we went live, you were talking a little bit about Kate Harping. You want to
Yeah.
talk a little bit more about that? You wanted to bring something up, and I kind of cut you off with the live.
Oh yeah, that I was actually talking to a guy who played at Westminster, which is here in Atlanta, and it's
Mm-hmm.
another Catholic or Christian. I don't know what. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be wrong. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one of our schools that is what do you call it? Private schools. Okay, my bad. It's been a long day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but one of our private schools, and he told me that he was doing the announcing for the game that I was just at for our Fayette County High School, and he said
Mm,
he played against her father when he was a freshman, and
okay.
her father played at, is it Marist? Is what I think that's right. I
Marist
don't know.
College.
Or wherever Kate Harpering is from in Atlanta, they played against each other. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I know that player." He goes, "Yeah, that." He goes, and I said, "Yeah." I said, because we were talking about the game, and he was like, "Yeah, I was." I said, "I was recruit." He goes, "Oh heck yeah!" I mean, she's like scoring 35 points, but the guy that was doing the announcements, like, "Yeah, I played against her dad." So like that's a whole like family thing. They go there, like it's not
Yeah.
like just she was recruited there, like their family goes to that school.
Yeah.
So
Well, the thing that scares me the most is these are some really really talented girls, and they've got everybody and their brother with a blue blood name behind them going after them. And is are we going to be able to compete with those big name schools that consistently show up every year? The LSU's, the UConns, the Tennessees that are always
yes,
there every year. Those schools that all want them.
yeah,
That's one question I have, and the second question is there that's very guard heavy. So you can tell that.
very.
So they're going to have to get somebody to commit right away, and then tell the other ones, sorry. I don't know.
Maybe,
You
or
know.
maybe they're looking to run a different kind of offense. Maybe they're looking to really run the floor and get back to Bluter ball, like you said,
Hmm.
because you still have our post players.
Hmm.
Sulky's not going anywhere. You got Addie, right? You
Hmm.
got you got
Well, Addie's
Hayden.
leaving. This is her senior year.
Okay, so she's leaving, but you still got Sulky. You still
I
got
got Ava.
Hayden, or
Yeah.
Ava, right? And
Hmm.
then I mean it and then maybe they've got other things out there that they're looking at. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. I
The,
would, but they're looking at like it's a 5'11", a 5'10" guard. The Addison Bjorn one, she's
hmm
6'1". She's a six
hmm
foot one wing. But
A
if you
wing.
get yeah, but if and then like Finley something Finley chest is it Chastain maybe?
Chastain
She's
Finley or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. She's 6 foot
Okay.
point guard.
Hmm.
So y- you don't. I mean, you can have a post player, but necessarily you don't need one if you got these
Okay.
girls that are.
Okay. We got Journey Houston coming in next year, and we've got Addie Deal coming in next year. I
Yeah,
believe they're both guards. Is one
yeah,
of them a point guard?
yeah.
Okay.
We're still guard
So,
heavy. We're still guard heavy
oh
though.
yeah, well, and we have Aaliyah Guyton, who, by all accounts, it's gonna be her job to lose next
Point guard.
fall. Yeah, point guard will be her
Yep.
job to lose. I don't know where that
Sorry.
Shanice. I think it's Shanice Johnson. I
Mhm.
saw her there yesterday, so she's still part of the team. She was in street clothes watching the game.
Yeah, yeah. With the knee injury, maybe she had a knee injury.
Yeah, yeah, the one that's still recuperating, and I would fully expect her to be back in the mix next year because that would be her third year, and so she's got 2 full years of not doing anything, but she knows the system from watching it. And then she did have a half a year before she got injured her freshman year of
Yeah,
spot duty.
yeah,
And it's just like, but I know that these girls are coming in are probably talented, really talented, and I'm just curious as how we're going to make them fit in next year, not
yeah.
next year, 2026, because Addie Deal will probably be in the backcourt with AJ Guyton. I got AJ, that's her dad, Aaliyah.
Yeah, with Aaliyah Guyton and with Stremlo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So and
I
then
know. I don't know what
Sulky.
that's going to do with McCabe unless she decides to leave and just ship out.
I don't think McCabe will leave. I think McCabe, it depends on what she's doing for school, but I don't, it doesn't, she doesn't look like the type that's going to be wanting to go anywhere else. I just think she's a
Hmm.
Hawkeye and she's going to stay there and finish out her years. I
Yeah.
really do.
Well,
There's
I
a
tell
lot
you
of
what,
loyalty.
there's a
That-
lot of loyalty because nobody really leaves.
They don't
Well, I can
leave.
only think of one person who left the Iowa program, and that was because she didn't want to play behind um,
Yeah. Caitlin.
Caitlin. Yeah, and Caitlin's sophomore year
Caitlin
when
or Kate
we,
Martin or
yeah,
Gabby.
yeah, but it was Caitlin who she really didn't want to play behind because she knew that she would lose in playing time, and she went to Creighton and she beat us in that
Yeah.
round of 32 at Carver Hawkeye. Creighton
Yeah.
upset us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know what? She's showing Bluter and Caitlin, look, you guys could have used me
Right.
in
But
that
then
game.
where'd she go? Oh, wait, she got beat, right?
Yeah.
But she did prove it for that one game, that Iowa Hawkeye game. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, she had a
people,
chip on her shoulder, so you knew she was going to have a good game. And
yes. I mean,
sometimes that works against them too. But having a chip on your shoulder, you might press too hard.
it might. Yeah, it does. It just depends. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see where they're going. But, I think a lot of more people, I think more people have, they're a little more positive about the team now. What do you think?
Oh my gosh! Just reading the different posts from the same people.
Thank you. That's when
Right.
you
Have a
know.
total turn.
Come
But I
on.
will tell you though, the quote from Caitlin was perfect. Um, you know, I'm going to read the quote directly so I don't get it wrong.
Please do.
Let me,
Please do.
I thought that was perfect to put a lot of naysayers to rest. Okay.
Got it.
Oh, it's probably further down the line than I thought. I put it on my Facebook page, so
Hmm.
it should be coming up here real quick.
He's like,
My
I gotta
God, I
go.
posted a lot of junk today. So did my so did my viewers.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, because it was exciting. It was amazing. No one thought it would happen, and it sure as heck did.
yeah,
But she,
yeah,
she's pretty much, she's got some good things that she's saying, and she comes from good
yeah.
people.
Well, let me try one more time. If not, I'll just try to paraphrase it.
Yeah, you can.
I would just like to get her words correctly because those words were really good.
Well, maybe if you paraphrase it, we'll remember exactly what she said. I don't know.
um, got a lot of football news on here today. Um,
Why?
McCaffrey on here talking about losing his star center for the rest of the season.
Oh no, not good.
No, it's not good because they're already struggling this season, and that just takes them out. Okay, so I don't see it. I must have missed it somewhere
Mm.
because I just quoted it and copied and pasted it and said a direct quote from Caitlin, and so there's no pictures, there's nothing but words. And okay, well, I know she said it in her press conference, but I won't play that. This is where. Oh, here it is. Caitlin's own words. Okay, the freshman class to me is really exciting. Clark said, "You can tell they're freshmen. They're going to be inexperienced at times, but learn through that, and you grow through that. Really proud of this coaching staff. I don't think people at times give them the grace they deserve."
Yep.
And that's the part that really struck me is
Yep.
because people aren't. And you and I have said here before that you
Hmm.
know we Jan is probably making some coaching errors, but we're not ready to jump on her and throw her out.
Right. No, and
That no, that
everybody.
she needs time to figure out what she's doing with the
No.
girls. And this, like we said, every starter except for Hannah was a role player last year.
Yeah.
And when they needed a big bucket or something, they looked to Caitlin. This year, they're
Hmm.
looking to themselves, and then the freshmen are still figuring it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I mean, like I said, Strimlo and Mulaney and
Yeah.
Hayden obviously aren't playing as much as they were earlier in the season, but
Right. But when they come in, they make a difference.
they do. They do.
They make a
I
difference,
love the
and they
energy that they
learn.
bring. Yeah, I love
They
the energy they bring.
they don't back down. I mean, Guyton got stripped by Juju, but that didn't make her stop. She
Mm-mm.
didn't stop playing. You didn't see
Yeah.
her head go down. You
Oh,
didn't.
what
Yeah.
about that play where she fell down with the ball and she just kept dribbling on her butt until she
Yes.
got up to her feet?
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm
Yes.
talking about. Like
How
that's
do
the
you
thing.
can't teach that?
No, that's just you
That's just
just do what
natural
you're
ball
supposed to
skill.
do, right? Like those are the things we're talking about, and that's what that's what Caitlin was talking about is that they just have that drive in them that they're not going to quit, and we've seen it from the beginning where you're kind of like, yeah, they're freshmen, but there's something special about them, and you
They
can
are.
see it.
You
You can
can
see it.
see
They
it.
don't. They just don't back down when they're not like, oh my gosh, I'm like, oh, I can't. You don't see that. It's not scared. It's not, it's just freshman mistakes. And that's exactly what she's talking about. It comes with the continuing to play, continuing to go against teams, like USC and that crowd. That right there tells you those kids are champions.
Hmm.
When they stepped up and did what they did in front of that crowd and against USC, and they're just babies,
Hmm.
literally babies. Um I didn't see anybody scared. I didn't see an Iowa guy that was scared.
Yeah.
Not at
You know what
all.
the difference is in this 3-game winning streak is they're hitting their free throws, or at
We
least they're
said
hitting them.
that.
They at least have at least they're hitting them when they need to
Yeah.
be hitting them at the
Yeah.
end of the game.
They're hitting their free throws. They're taking care of the ball. USC turned the ball over a lot more than we did.
Well, it was
Um,
18-17. They had 18, we had 17.
I thought
I
they
heard
had
it
20.
reported somewhere else that it was 15,
I thought they had
but I
20.
went
They
to
were
the
saying
official
20,
Iowa. Hmm?
and it was more. Okay, I thought they had
Yeah,
20. It may have been the crucial turnovers then
yeah,
for
yeah.
USC,
Well, the thing is they didn't. I think Iowa didn't have more than 5 or 6 at halftime.
which is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, and they're
That's
at 17,
amazing.
so they're pretty much on their average for turnovers. And
Hmm.
but I mean, I went to the official Iowa website for the stats that I got.
Hmm.
And so yeah. Um, so yeah, it shows turnovers 18 for Nebraska, 17 for us. That could be wrong. I could be wrong. They had we had they had 12 steals. We had 11. I'll just read these off. We tied each other at 37 rebounds apiece. Now, another podcast I listened to this morning had us losing the rebound battle to them. Um, we really
Huh.
haven't lost more than a rebound battle, one or two all year. So that was a surprise when I heard that we lost the rebound battle because that's something we've been pretty decent at all year.
But it wasn't offensive rebounds. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah,
weren't getting a second opportunity.
right, right, yeah. And we
So
definitely didn't
that's
give them any second opportunities yesterday. How about
that's
those?
that's the big part is like, and I said that.
Mhm.
I was like, you have got to crash the boards and you have got to take care of the ball and you cannot give them another opportunity to score or they will score.
Yeah.
And they
Okay, then
didn't.
yeah, and their free throws were 89%, which is kind of where you want to be, or if not better. But
Yeah.
that's not bad free throw. We were at 75, but that's better than we were doing.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot better.
Okay, neither
Yeah.
one shot the 3-point wall very well. 29% for them, 28% for us.
But good
However,
Lord.
let's give Taylor McCabe credit.
That's what I was gonna say.
He hit 3 of them.
McCabe came blazing out of the gates. I'm like,
Hmm.
geez, McCabe. And then was Stolke getting those rebounds? I mean, they'd
Hmm.
shoot a three, miss Stolke, get it, pass it back out, miss Stolke, got it, and then hit, I think, a Fulter, and a Fulter hit a three. Like
Hmm.
that was just, I was just, it was. I, and the funny
Yeah.
part was on Sunday I was out at the softball field because we have a baseball team that's out there, and then my girls
Mhm.
go out there too, and they were training, right? And I
Right.
was telling you I didn't think I could watch the game, and then I looked at my phone and I figured out a way I could get the game. I just signed into DirecTV and then pulled the game up, and I was
Mhm.
sitting behind my Jeep, and you could hear me screaming and yelling, and everybody's like, "What are you doing back there?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "You don't understand." They're like, "Yeah, right." I'm like, "I'm good." I'm like,
Oh yeah,
"Yeah."
that was fun, and they
Yeah,
shot 35% overall, and we shot 45% overall. Is 45% pretty decent, you think,
from
or
the
is that
3-point line? Yeah.
no? Just from normal. No, we shot only 28% from the 3 point, but overall 45. So is
No,
that
I just feel like it should be higher for some reason.
yeah?
I
They
feel like
did
the
shoot.
40 is the 3-point line.
hmm Yeah,
And,
I would.
and
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, they're 45%. However, I saw a stat that said in the fourth quarter they were 60%.
mm, yeah.
So just think of what they would have been for the game if they hadn't shot 60%. Probably all on that second quarter where they missed about everything they threw up. They only scored 10 points in the second quarter.
Well, and for us, Olsen took over. She
hmm
took over in the fourth quarter,
Yeah, she
right?
did. That fourth quarter, that was amazing. I have her stats for fourth quarter alone.
Yeah.
15 points,
Yeah.
5 for 7,
Yeah.
and overall she was 8 for 9 on free throws.
Yeah. I told you that was a different Lucy Olsen. That's one we haven't seen in a minute.
Mm. Yeah, and that yesterday her performance and these type of games is the reason why Iowa brought her in.
Yeah, and
You know.
I don't think she understood the seriousness of it. I think now she does.
Yeah.
I think now she's seeing, oh wait, this is kind of a business,
hmm
and I need to do my job. And and it is what it is. And if you want to go somewhere and you want to do what you need to do and they want to go make the tournament, she's gonna have to do that. Like that's the pressure that's on her. I did see a different Lucy Olson. I saw a different look on her face. I saw a different you could see she was standing on business. That's what my kids say. She was standing on her business and she was doing her job.
Okay, right now we're in 12th place at 5-6. Um,
Well, there you go.
Minnesota is our next game, which we'll talk about.
We got them.
Yeah. We got Minnesota. They are at 6-5 and 18-5. So honestly, I would think that they're beatable. It is on the road, you know.
Yeah.
However, I think they're beatable.
They
And then we
got
got then we have, I believe it's the return trip to Nebraska.
that's a revenge game.
It's a
Yeah,
revenge, and we could have won that one before.
yes,
So I feel
for
like we
sure.
can win them and get them at home. If the
Yeah.
girls come in with the same kind of fire and stuff, then we should be able to get them. But
Well, yeah, they just needed to record whatever Caitlin said to them and play it every game.
yeah. So um, we haven't played Wisconsin yet, have we? We haven't. Have we?
No, I don't think so.
How about Penn State? Did we beat them already, or have we? We
We played
haven't
Penn
played
State.
Rutgers. They're coming up.
That's a game we
Northwestern.
got.
We just beat Northwestern. They're still 0-9. Purdue. We don't think we played them yet.
What about
Okay.
Michigan? Michigan. We played
I'm
Michigan
trying to think.
State.
Michigan and Iowa and Minnesota are all pretty much, I would say, tied.
We need to win those games. Like
Yeah.
now you got to win the games going into UCLA. So
Yeah.
whatever you're playing before you hit UCLA, you have to win those games.
Yeah. The
And
good
then
news is to see we haven't played UCLA or Ohio State yet. I mean, yet those two games are coming.
yeah.
We've played USC, we've played Michigan State, we've played Maryland, we've played Illinois, we played Nebraska, and we played Oregon, we played Indiana. All those games are above us in the standings. And I think the only people we beat in that period were USC and Indiana. We beat Indiana, right? No, they beat us.
Isn't that crazy? I don't remember.
I think the men beat Indiana. We did not beat Indiana. Or unless that game's still coming. So above us, I think we played almost everybody except UCLA and Ohio State, and of course, We travel to Ohio
Right.
State, and we have UCLA at home at the end of the season.
Right.
Okay. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I can get it real quick, but let's just focus on where we're at right now.
Wisconsin
Kylie
or
did not
Minnesota.
score any points in this game. However, her defense was relentless, and she only took one shot and missed it. So it looked like to me like she was just focused on stopping the ball.
Yeah.
Trying to get the ball, getting the steal, getting the block. She got one block, one steal.
Yeah.
And so I think she wasn't even concerned about shooting because I think she's just going to let her teammates do that.
Yeah, that was her job. I agree.
Yeah. And it looks like that I couldn't really tell, but they said that she did a pretty good job on Juju, so maybe she was locked
Yes.
down on Juju the whole time.
Yeah.
And she probably was tired because she's probably chasing Juju all over the floor.
Yeah, I mean you've gotta not leave her wide open on the 3-point line. Just get a contested your shot. But I did see that they were shooting Stolke out on Juju a couple times because she doesn't do as well against someone who is the same height as her. She'll want to take that person into the paint and then do that like fadeaway jumper and try to draw the foul. But they weren't allowing that.
Yeah.
And that was huge. And yeah, she had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
For
The
sure.
thing I noticed too about Juju, and I even watched her game against Minnesota, she does not take a lot of threes. She makes a couple here and there, but she honestly, that's not her game, and I didn't realize that.
No,
And
she's more of a smooth driver, taker, that
yeah.
little short jumper, take it all the way to the basket, get the and ones. Yeah.
So it's amazing how she's already for this. I think it was this season she's at 1,000 points already, or was that total
I
for her
think
career?
I think it was last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was mainly their main scorer. I mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Juju, you can tell Juju and Kiki, and I believe Kiki's the one that was in a lot of foul trouble.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to worry much about her, but those two appear to be the ones to make that team go. The rest are kind of like reminds me of Iowa last year, where you got a couple players that are great and go, and everybody else are role players.
Yeah, and there's another post player in there that I think normally does really well, but she, for some reason, just did not have a very good game. Thank God. Thank the Lord Jesus for that one. We'll take it.
Yeah. Well, I think the crowd had a lot to do with. Give the crowd credit; they were the best sixth man of the year.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, as a coach too, you could see the coach she was just flustered. I mean, the USC coach was just like, and she, like, when you're not in that, like, it's hard to like go, okay, because I mean, Iowa had to prepare. They know what it's like when it's loud like that. They know what to do. I mean, and when you're not used to it, man, it's in your face.
Yeah. Hey Ben, I keep looking at this. Sorry we didn't give you more information on the recruits. I know you wanted to talk about that. I would just keep looking at my Facebook page of the same name. As soon as I get some people out there to talk about it, I will post it on the page.
Yeah,
But
because it would
Ben, I
be
also
interesting. It would be interesting to know who was there. Like, did Journey Houston, was she there? She should have been. She's from Davenport, right? That'd
she
be
was
easy for
scheduled.
her.
Yeah, she was scheduled to be there. Eddie Deal was there. I
Addison
believe they had 7 altogether there. Kate
Addison
Harping was there.
Bjorn, Jenica
Bjorn
Lewis,
Bourne. Yeah.
Finley Chastain, right?
Yeah.
Julian Guy? Is that who it was from did she come in from Bettendorf, or is she not allowed to come in as a freshman? Like, can they bring her in?
They did. They
They
invited
did.
her.
Okay, so they can invite her, but yeah, I don't even know anymore like what the recruiting thing is anymore. I
Well, I
have
know
no
that
idea.
makes. I know that being the class of 28, she's a freshman. So
Right.
the fact that we're looking at a freshman already,
Right.
But
Well,
of course
they're
we were looking at Maddie Greenway and Addie Deal before they were even freshmen.
yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Here's a crazy thing. I think we might have talked about this, but we lost Maddie Greenway, who would have been nice as she's an Iowa legacy to have her at Iowa. But the other thing is I think she has a little sister in 8th grade who's tearing it up, who might be better than she is.
There you go.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
maybe we can get the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're looking at a lot of things with these players. I mean, they need to know if they do actually fit into the Iowa system, if they actually are
Hmm.
a player that you got to have loyalty from these girls too. So like, are they somebody that's going to come and stay? Or are they going
Hmm.
to somebody that's going to come and maybe try to up their status of who they are and then go for the NIL deals?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if girls are doing this because you're looking at like different picks. I mean, you're looking at like the 85th ranked overall pick in Journey Houston, right?
Hmm.
That's not like that's not like a number one or a number two, right? The number two overall pick is Kate Harpering, but then if you look at the fact, so she again looking at the fact that her dad went to the same school, right?
Hmm.
She's going to the same school her dad's going to. So you're finding that maybe the loyalty is there that if she gets herself to Iowa, she's
Hmm.
going to stay there. Like there's a lot of that you got to look at. Are these kids going to want to stay at Iowa? Or are they
Hmm.
going to use them in order to increase who they are,
Yeah.
right? Up their stock.
Yeah,
And then
that's the great thing is like we talked about. Like I said, we can only think of one transfer out in the last
yeah,
five years,
loyal.
and
So loyal.
loyal. Very the girls are very loyal, and I know Brad Heinrichs talked about that on a podcast today. He was mostly referring to football, but it applies to everything.
It does.
It says like when you're sitting down with the recruiting coordinators, you're looking at
Mhm.
will this person fit in
Mhm.
with the Iowa program? Is there something in their
Yeah.
background that we don't want to deal with? If not, let somebody else deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, because
And
it's just a home feeling, like it's home. When you go to Iowa, it's
mhm,
you're home and you don't
mhm,
want to go anywhere else.
yeah, and that's a nice thing too. Is the girls there that are already there, the ladies? I don't want to call them girls anymore. They're all between 18 and
Right.
22, 23
Right, there you
maybe.
go. The women, yeah, the women that
The
are
women,
there, yeah.
the women are the young ladies that are there. They
Young
always. It
women.
sounds like they always make the recruits feel welcome, and
Yeah.
show them a
Yeah.
good time. And I don't know what else they do on recruiting trips anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't it's not fake. Like you're when you go in, you're getting Jan Jensen as Jan Jensen, who she
Hmm.
is. That's not a
Hmm.
fake thing. Like, okay, they're not
Right.
trying to sell you something because they don't have to sell you anything. They are
Hmm.
who they are. When they say they're family, they're family. Like when they say those are their daughters, those are their daughters, those are their sisters, those are their like
Hmm.
that's not fake. Like you're not it's just not like some people want to say that that's what they were, but when you get there, you're like, wait a minute, you just sold me a piece of land in Florida. Y'all
Yeah. Oh
swapped
yeah, and
land
then
in
there.
Florida.
And then he was also kind of talking about how some schools are being kind of crooked about their NIL program.
Yeah,
That they're actually poaching people when they shouldn't be
yeah.
poaching people. I mean, too early. They're
I don't, I,
talking.
I, I don't think I was doing that. I mean, I think they're just out there
No.
straight recruiting like they normally do. I think
Hmm.
now you've got your NIL deal recruiters that
Hmm.
they're, you
Yeah.
know, going out. I mean, there's even a kid now here in Atlanta, and his player his it's a guy I know through the travel ball teams, right? His son literally got offered. I think he's either 12U, 14U, I don't know, got offered some sort of deal and he's got a lawyer looking at the contract. Like for real? Like what? Like what? Really?
Yeah, they get lawyers and agents involved now a lot now, and Brad talked about that, and he told one funny story about a kid at Iowa, football player. The parents called up and they were very happy with Iowa, happy with Kirk and everything. Um, but they said a school from the SEC, and he wouldn't name the school, um, was offering them a lot of money to leave Iowa and jump into the transfer portal. Now, keep in mind, this kid's not even in the transfer portal. He can't be talked to by this school. But this school's to offering the money, and so
He's already got an agent, so he's going through the agent.
he's going through the agent. And he
Hmm.
said, so the guy calls back and he says, so Brad goes talks to the coaches to see if they can get him more money, and I guess they offer him a little more, and they come back and they say, okay, this is what we're going to give him, and they call back and come back and say, no, we're going to need about 2.5 times more than that for him, or otherwise, if you want him to stay, you have to give us that kind of money. Well, it turns out
Gosh.
that they said no. If he needs to leave, we wish him good luck. If he wants to pursue the extra money, let him go. We'll let him go.
Yeah.
And he said that the kid never left. The kid didn't even probably know what was going on behind his back.
Probably not.
The
It's the
agent was
parents
being
and the
crooked,
agent
trying to
doing
get
it.
himself his money. Yeah,
Yeah, he's being greedy.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. The kid never left. I mean, and so the kid probably didn't even aware that these negotiations were going on
Right. And they
behind the
don't ask
scenes.
the kid, where do you want to be? Like, what do you
Hmm.
want to do?
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
And it's the thing is that's life changing money. Even
Hmm.
for me, it would be life changing money. Even for you, it'd be life
Hmm.
changing money. So you have to think about it. So, like, what am I doing now for my family? And am I the one that actually even knows anything about it? So you got a mom or dad who's looking at, oh, this is going to change our lives forever. So, get greedy. They don't. They're still not even thinking about the kid. Like, I hate it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not gonna force my babies to do anything that they don't want to do right now. If they want to do it, I know what it's like. Look, it's tough. It's a tough world out there. It is hard to be a Division 1 athlete. You
Mhm.
better love it. Like, you
Yeah.
better love the game. You better love it, because if you don't love it, it's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah. Well, let's just quickly talk about Minnesota a little bit. They scored 75.6 a game and only give up 57.6. So I would say similar to USC, but I believe USC scores over 80 points a game.
And didn't
Um,
USC just dominate them?
Minnesota.
Yeah.
When I watched the game, they weren't being dominated. Maybe they dominated later after I fell asleep.
I think they did dominate later. I think USC finally like kicked it in. When we had that second half, like, or
Hmm.
that second quarter, that we have that
Hmm.
that we do. I think Minnesota had it, and USC just ran away with the game after that.
Oh, okay.
Um,
All right.
so I think if we are coming off of the high of this game, and we continue that adrenaline push, and we continue the same things, I don't think we should change anything. I think we should do
Hmm.
exactly what we were doing against USC, against Minnesota. Don't change
Hmm.
anything. Do the
No, no,
same.
it worked. It worked
Yeah, do
against
the same thing and dominate them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they shoot a field goal percentage of 43, and they hold everybody else to 38, and 3 points 33, and they only make about 7 a game, which let's just hope it doesn't be the typical thing, and all of a sudden they're making 10 or 11.
Right.
31% is their opponent's shooting. Free throw
Mhm.
75%. Their opponent 72, which they can't really control their opponent's
No.
free throw percentage, but 75 about where Iowa is right now.
Yeah. And
Rebounding's 40 a game and 34 for their opponents. They turn the ball only over 10 times a game, which is probably why their record is semi decent.
yeah, that
You
is
know,
true. Yeah. So that's
they
exactly
force
what it is.
they're forcing 17 turnovers a game, and they got nearly 9 steals a game, and their opponents are only getting 6 steals a game, and
Wow.
they're about even on block shots at 2.1. It
Yeah.
looks
So
like I don't know if this girl's injured or just came back from injury, but their best player record point wise has only played in 13 games this year.
hmm.
Um,
I remember watching them though against USC, when I wasn't very impressed, and I knew that if we come in and play our game, we can beat them. I really believe that. I really
yeah,
do.
yeah.
But we can't go back to what we were doing. We will not beat them if we go back to what we were doing when we lost those 5 games in a row.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
we
if
can't do that.
at all. But if they stay on this high in the way they played, and if Lucy comes and has that same serious, I'm going to lead this team,
Hmm.
determination that she had on her face, it's our game. I mean, it's our game, and there's no reason that it shouldn't be our game. I really believe that. Same thing, crash the boards, take care of the ball, one shot and done, run our break. Work the ball inside, outside, hit the threes when we need to. Throw the different defenses at them. You've got to keep doing that. I mean, they proved that they can do it against USC. They can do it against anyone. Like, don't change it.
Yeah.
Keep coaching. Keep
Yeah, there
doing
you
the
go.
right thing. Jan's she showed that she's got it. She's got to keep doing it.
Yeah. Kelvin, you're talking about Amaya Battle, who has 11.6 points a game and 5 rebounds. So, they got like a couple of girls in the 11-point range, and Tori McKinney at 10, and Annika Stewart at 9.9 points a game. And like I said, I don't know if this Mao or Braun is playing right now or not.
Yeah.
Like if she's gone for the season, or did she just come back recently, start playing again. But she's averaging 13 points a game when she's in the game.
Yeah, but I think our defense can take them. I mean, I think, we matched up really well with USC. And obviously, I mean, USC's defense was not as strong as people thought, just because of what, we were able to do against them, which was crazy, right?
Yeah.
It was just like, because defensively, if you're strong, you're strong. It doesn't matter what kind of crowd you have. Your defense is still strong. I don't care what you say.
Yeah. Well, isn't
crowd
that when
doesn't
when
stop
your
defense.
shots aren't falling, you play defense?
Yeah, right? Yeah. I mean,
that's the one thing you can control is the defense.
Yeah, I'm like, if my shot's not falling, I'm gonna go back down and steal it from you. It only happened a couple times at the top of the key with Juju, only a couple times. So, I mean, again, I just hope they come in with that adrenaline rush. They keep playing as hard as they've been playing, and they don't stop on what they're doing, and they let people see that, hey, they deserve to be where they're at, and they deserve to. I mean, they've had to fight their way back. We think they would fight their way back like they had, right? We said they're what, 5-6?
Yeah. Can you imagine if they had played everybody with the intensity that they played USC? We probably wouldn't have lost a game so far in the Big Ten.
No, I know.
Imagine where we'd be standing firmly in the tournament.
I know, I know, and it's just it's a maturity for everyone, even a maturity for Lucy.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. She
But,
had to find her role.
Yeah, we got to come up with these wins the next couple of games, because I think they're winnable games. The Ohio State game later on and the UCLA games are going to be tougher, but our girls proved to us that they are up to the challenge. So I will give them credit.
Yep.
They are up to the challenge. I'm not going to say anymore that this is a sure loss, because they proved yesterday that nothing's a sure loss.
No.
And but they've also proved this season nothing's a sure win.
Exactly. But that's that young, team that we have, and the fact that we have to depend on our bench, and our bench is a bunch of freshmen. I mean, it is what it is. Gotta ride the ride.
All right. Okay, just before we leave, let's just talk a little bit quickly about Caitlin's raising of her jersey to the rafter. Anything about the speeches, the conversations, the videos, anything strike you at all?
I loved what Bluter said about the fact that she's been trying. She has dedicated her whole entire career to changing young women's lives, and touching young women's lives in the way that and that Caitlin has done that more in the 4 years of basketball that she's played than Bluter did her entire career, and she will continue to do that. And the fact that she said she did it with grace, and she has not changed who she is as a person.
I don't think she has. No.
But
oh my gosh. I think my favorite part was when she was giving her speech, Caitlin, and she said, and now we're going to come right back to this. And she leaned down to hit the floor. We're coming back to this arena.
Yeah.
The
Save your money.
Game here or something like that.
Save your money, because it's going to be expensive. But
I think she said something about you guys probably spent a lot of money for this game too.
Yeah, right. She's serious about it, but it's the truth. I mean, she knows, she understands, and also the jacket that Nike made her.
Oh, wasn't that great jacket? Oh my god!
Yeah,
I wish they would have taken time to show it to us. A little bit better.
It was amazing. Like I saw it on Facebook, and they had the tag said Caitlin, and then on the inside of the jacket it listed every single one of her accomplishments on the inside, and then
Yeah,
on
how
the
great was
back
that?
it had Indiana on the bottom and Iowa on the top, and it had
Yeah.
Iowa, and it had all of the, I think maybe I don't know what the one emblem was, but it did have Iowa, the Indiana Fever. And then I don't know what the other one. It might have been Player of the Year. I don't know what that was
Mhm.
because it was all
Okay.
blacked out.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
No, it was a nice jacket. She better not.
Everyone
She better
wants that
not put
jacket.
that down. Somebody's gonna be taking that if she.
Everyone wants that jacket now. So
Yeah.
hello, the amazingness that they did, and the basketball, blacked out Wilson basketball.
Oh my gosh, that was cute too.
That's gonna be another thing. I mean, hello, it's just
Yeah.
such branding.
But
So
speaking
smart.
of things in high demand from yesterday, you know that they laid out those towel jerseys with the
Oh
jersey on the
my
towel.
gosh.
Okay,
Yeah.
so somebody must have arrived early and collected all of them he could get his hands on, because
Uh-uh.
a guy sent me a thing on eBay today because I questioned, because everything was like in the $200 range for those things, and I questioned who would pay that, and this guy said, "Well, somebody might," and he sent me
Not nice.
all of his that he had posted. Every one of them was sold, and he had them in the $300-400 range.
Not nice.
And he goes, "Somebody wanted them." And I go,
But
I
that's not
can't."
nice taking those from those people.
No, but he had to have, because how else did
He
he get his
did. I
hand?
know he did, and that's not nice. Like I know when I went to the Texas game, right? The
Hmm.
Texas Arizona State game.
Hmm.
Okay. And so we're sitting in the stands, and not every seat was full, but those towels still sat there. No one touched
Hmm.
them because they
Hmm.
knew that somebody might be coming to those seats.
Right.
And then we got down towards the end of the game, and the crazy part is that my friend's team that she coaches she's my assistant coach, is the Longhorns.
Hmm.
So it was the Texas Longhorns, and we were on the Texas Longhorn side, and we started asking people because we wanted to get each boy one of
Hmm.
those Longhorn towels because it had the
Hmm.
Longhorns on it and it said
Hmm.
Longhorns. So we asked, and the people were like, "Oh my God, absolutely! Like, please take them. If this is for a bunch of boys, we're gonna do that." But no one touched them. Like
Hmm.
you just don't do that. Like
No, I mean, I
it's
will tell you
sold
right
out.
now.
You don't take someone's
Mhm.
towel.
Yeah,
You
one
know
of
how
the
much they
women's
paid for
game.
that seat.
Yeah, one of the women's games that me and my grandson went to years ago,
Hmm.
and it's probably in the early 2000s, like 2004, 2005, somewhere in
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
Okay, they did the same thing. They put some towels out. They put on those things that you just clap,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
could
yeah,
grab and
yeah, yeah,
clap.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They put those out there on the seats, and my grandson wanted to grab a bunch. The seats were practically empty, and I go, no, no, we're gonna take what's in our seat, and that's all we're taking. And
Hmm.
then I displayed them
Yeah,
in my home in Iowa. I
yeah,
displayed them in my Hawkeye room. And I don't have half this Hawkeye stuff
yeah. I
anymore
mean,
yet.
I have
I
these
gave
back
it
here
all
that
away before I left.
you see the three up here. So when I went to the game, I had a three, and then
Hmm.
over here it's like "Let's go Hawks," and then you'd
Hmm.
hold up the three when Caitlin would hit the three.
Yeah.
I have two because one of my teammate or one of my coaches went with me,
Hmm.
but we didn't take more than than we needed to take just because. I
Because you
mean,
guys are good people. You're not going to go on eBay and try to make money
it's
off of it.
karma. It's karma.
You
You
know.
can't do that. It's just like it does, and
I know
it
it.
won't
I know
come.
it, but I guess people have a right to do that if they want to. But
I guess
it's something I
so.
wouldn't do. But
Greedy,
it is
greedy,
what it
greedy.
is. It is. But
Stop
anyway, I
being so
wanted to see how
greedy.
you felt about all that. All right,
But yeah,
it's getting late on my
it
end, and I
is.
know it's even later for you, and I can see
It
you getting
is like
tired.
yeah, 11 o'clock. Yeah, right. And I got to get up early and go do it all
this
again tomorrow.
this would be the latest show we've ever done. But when I sign this off, don't leave yet. I need to talk to you.
Okay, cool.
Okay. But guys, I'm just going to remind you guys, we are part of the Bill and Sports Network, but we won't see any of the bells and whistles tonight. The music, the everything that you normally see here won't be happening because of a kind of a glitch. I had to use the old system, the old freebie system,
Yeah.
and so that's fine. But anyway, don't let that. Go ahead and subscribe, like, share it. Let's get this thing going big time. I picked up another follower today, although
Yay.
I don't recognize the name. And the name is like I couldn't pronounce it if I had to. But it's a follower.
We'll take you. Way to follow us.
Yeah, as long as you come in here and listen and share the game.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, I'm going to end the stream. Everybody, thank you for watching. I will share this all over Facebook in the morning. I won't do it tonight. AJ says congratulations on the win. AJ, you want to say anything to Molly while you're?
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. He's looks like he's being bashful again.
All right, AJ.
All right, we're gonna sign off, AJ. Here's your chance. Here we go. Thank you for the autograph. Autographs, love it. There you go.
Yeah, no problem, bud.
All right,
If I find some more things, I'll send them your way.
There you go. All right, we're gonna sign out, guys. Thank you for watching the show tonight, and I will share this all over Facebook in the morning because nobody's staying up late tonight to watch. Thank you. Bye.